To keep pace with the ever-changing landscape of marketing and advertising, let Clark Print Shop help you spot the trends and keep you in front of the pack with all your color printing needs. From business cards to invitations, menus to mugs, we can print anything you need on paper or your choice of over 3,000 promotional items. Visit www.clarkprintshop.com to browse our online catalog and place your order today, or call us at 276-889-3426. For a limited time, use the code iRacing for 23% off your first purchase. The staff at Clark Print Shop looks forward to handling all your color printing needs.
In the heartland of our country, something magical is happening. At Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes, we know the power of community, of hands coming together to create wonders. These costumes are symbols of love, compassion, and inclusion. Your hands can craft dreams. Join us at Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes build events and be a part of something extraordinary.
What is up, everyone? I am Joshua Banks, driver of the number 35 Matco Tool Supra.
Comes back. He's gonna send it to the inside. They're 3 wide for the race lead. They're gonna. Joshua Banks is gonna win it. Unbelievable.
And also co-owner of M&J Distributors for the sponsor of Saturday Night Racing. So I just want to thank every single one of you for tuning into tonight's race. I hope you will put on a good show for you guys. I hope that you will enjoy it. So if you do, make sure you drop a thumbs up to VSPEED and subscribe to them, because they, as y'all know, if you haven't already, they put on some great broadcasts. So I'll make this short and sweet. The main reason for sponsoring Saturday Night Racing League is because I've been with these guys for a long time. I've raced with a lot of them. I've been through some rough times, some good times, and arguments and everything like that. But still, grand scheme of things, been through a lot of these guys, and I really do like where this league's going. I want to support it. They've given a lot to the league already, and I think, you know, I'm capable to support back. So that's what we're doing, and we want to keep this league free, you know, for people to join, to have a good time, come in and race and just have fun, you know, and that's what we're all about. So that's the main reason, and that's all I really have to say about it. So I hope you do enjoy the race, enjoy the season coming up. We are hopefully going to put on a great season for you guys. Also, make sure to check out my YouTube channel, Banksy the iRacer. Link will be in the description. Check out, and you can see my point of view, see what's happening on my end. If you want to watch it, it's completely fine. If not, no big deal. So come on over, hang out after the broadcast of this race, and hopefully we'll see you over there. If not, enjoy it, and I'll see you guys on track.
It's time to roll the dice for week number 10 of the Saturday Night Racing Series. Welcome in, everybody. Presented by M&J Distributors. It's week number 10 on the season in the Mojave Desert. Racetrack, mile and a half long. It's seen many different configurations, but here for the steep banking and the new next gen, we're going to go 140 laps tonight. Saturday Night Racing has not disappointed. I'm your host, Bradley Cooper, alongside Connor Horn. Connor, this racetrack, iconic since 1996. It's been around, and it's one of those tracks that if you can master it, you can dominate and pull away from the rest of this field.
And it's a track that's gone through some changes since it was opened. There wasn't as much banking until 2007 when we went to this kind of more of a stereotypical mile and a half with the higher banking. Not progressive, but you can still get that high line pretty wound up. But yeah, if you can run well around mile and a half, so you can master this track pretty easily. And that should be a pretty good sign for a lot of drivers, because we have a lot of drivers in the field that are good at mile and a halves. We should see them rise to the front of this mile and a half racetrack. 20 degrees of banking in the corners. You're going to see 2 and 3 wide all night long.
And, you know, coming off of this points, we got to talk about that for a minute, because Bailey Turner, even with one drop week, he's still leading here, but it's narrowed down. Michael Sturgill has brought it down to 18 points. And, you know, last week with the first win of the season, Jeff Wright has worked his way up to the top 3. That's the first time that we've talked about Jeff Wright, I believe, in the top 3 in points.
I think it very well might be, because he did not have that good of a finish at Daytona. He's been playing catch-up for a lot of the season, and obviously Bailey Turner winning the first 4 weeks of the season. He was not really in contention for some of those wins besides Auto Club and maybe Kern. Finally got it together. Maybe not the fastest last week. Turner might have had him on pace, but the tire strategy, he played right. He led majority of the laps. He won the race, and all of a sudden, the last 5 weeks, we have 5 different winners in this series. 3 of them second to fourth in points, with Donald Kite fourth in points still, and Brian Chandler still a little further back, not full time, I believe, but we still got a lot of weeks left before we get to the chase, and we got a lot of drivers who could win, just not quite in the winner's circle yet. I'm looking at Kenny Kibbe very fast in 6th, Carwile's in 9th, Chad Klinger's in 10th, you got Adam Cabot on pole tonight in 15th, so a lot of drivers that can get the victory lane.
Got out there to Bryce Shoemaker. Good luck here tonight to Chad Klinger and Keith Shoemaker. You know, I kind of missed you out on the racetrack there just an hour ago, but I'm sure you'll enjoy tonight's show. And we're going to go with our race analysis here tonight. 140 laps, 45 mile per hour pit road speed limit. Of course, we've seen this here. 4 tire sets available, 3 green, white checkers, and 80% fuel on the iRacing fixed setup. A lot of drivers complaining in practice that it's going to be difficult to pass. This car definitely does not want to stick to the bottom. So it's going to be interesting to see who qualified where, and that's probably going to dictate where they finish. Hopefully these guys got the best that they could in their qualifying effort, because it's going to be difficult. With that, though, it's time to go trackside, get the grid up on your screen, and starting on the pole here tonight, Adam Cabot with a 30.395. He will beat James Lehman by just a couple hundredths of a second there. Very, very close for that top spot. James Lehman was very fast in points, or in practice. Next row is going to belong to Chad Klinger and Jeff Wright. You got Ray Massey and AJ Stravado for row number 3. Bailey Turner, your points leader. We'll start from the 7th position. Josh Adams, Juicy Spider number 6 in 8th spot. Rounding out the top 10 is Elliott Butler in the 16th. Nick Hapiak in the 10th spot.
You got all the Juicy Spider drivers kind of in a clump here. Donnie Kite, winner at Talladega, starts in the 11th position alongside Brian Chambliss, winner at Atlanta about a month ago at this point. Angelo Horonas, who had good speed at the last mile and a half we went to, or one of them, I believe, which was Kentucky. He starts 13th. Stefan Davis starts 14th in the number 60. 15th position, Philip Brewer in the Zin Wintergreen number 44, starting 15th. Keith Shoemaker will start in the 16th position. Michael Sturgill won a few weeks back at that thriller at Kentucky, or if you can call it a thriller. He starts 17th alongside Mike Sturgill in the 53. That's the first time they've been on the same row, I believe,
yeah.
So kind of fun to see that. And then rounding out this top half of the field, Max Koss still looking for his first career Saturday Night Racing League victory. He starts 19th alongside Dakota Floyd, who also is possible. He could definitely get a victory at the speed he showed, but he starts back at 20th.
Well, I just want to say and shout out there, I believe Mike Sturgill racing in the same room as Michael here tonight. So there's a little twist. Maybe that's why they're on the same road. They are left and right. I'll have to throw that up on the screen here before we get done with the grid. Rob Hamp, Brandon Wallace, 21st, 22nd. Then 23rd goes to Caleb Weekly, Joseph McWhorter. I thought he retired. 24th spot here for the 73. Eddie Trejo and Matt Shinosky for row number 13. And then you go to Rob Denton and Austin Belkey, 27th and 28th. We've still got some more cars to talk about. Ben Lafter, Logan Threlkel, VSPEED's very own. That'll round out your top 30.
And the last few stars on the field, seeing McWhorter on the track's like seeing a ghost, I feel. Nick Wood will start 31st alongside Kenny Kibbe in 32nd. Man, I wish that 14 would qualify. He's always fast.
Right.
J.R. Shepard, Case Lacatus right behind him. Then the final 3 starters, Julio Villalobos Jr., Christopher Hodges, and Benjamin Richards. So 37 cars tackling this track tonight, but they'll all be chasing Adam Cabot at the start.
So here we go for 140 laps here tonight. Saturday Night Racing League has not disappointed in either one of their series. With the Challenger at 7:45, the Cup Series at 10 p.m. Here we go, though, to roll the dice in the Mojave Desert. Sin City, ready to go with the 17 of Adam Cabot. Green flag is out. And here we go from Las Vegas. Stravado in the 33. I'm going to check it down just a little bit. That's a minor brush on these composite bodies, but you still got to be careful if you're driving it that hard. It must have been important for that position. 33 maintains his spot.
Yeah, pretty decent hit as Bailey Turner not wasting time trying to get track position, trying to go 3 wide with him, Chad Klinger, and Stravado as they might have made contact. Klinger in the 24. Those are 2 people that probably don't like racing to 09 that much, but kept it straight. Stravado benefited greatly from that, got clear for that 4th position. So we'll see how tough it is to pass later in the run. This track will cool down with how late it is, but it is still 101 track temp, so we'll see if we could see that higher line come in. We already see drivers get to the bottom of the racetrack early on.
There's a little bit of a shuffle going on here, a breakaway between 15th, 16th position. These guys, Philip Brewer here on the tail end of it. Stefan Davis just behind him. And then you got a car on the wall right there, and I think that was Eddie Trejo. Something happened here between these 2 spots and set these guys back almost a full second.
Yeah, I couldn't quite see initially what happened. I think it was like the 2nd lap or something like that they might have just gotten driven away from, because I didn't see anything specific that happened. But just being side by side will slow you down a lot in these next gen cars with how much side draft there is. Being side by side, it just will slow you down. And I'm not surprised to see Eddie Trejo trying to run this way high line. I saw him doing it at the tail end of practice, also in the warm up. I don't know if it's going to be effective today, but he certainly got the wall line down to a T. We'll just see if it brings him any pace. As at the front, Jeff Wright was kind of the first 1 in 1 and 2 to go to the middle line, trying to get second from James Lehman, and he has the momentum to get that spot. We've seen all season Lehman has good Q pace, he just hasn't been able to finish races.
Here's he with Cabot. For the races that he's been a part of, he's had success. In the 17, even though he's had a limited schedule, has been able to maintain a top 20 in points. We didn't quite get a chance to mention his name, I think, there in the points. You might have mentioned him, but I know for the 24 car right now, this is one of those races where you had success the first 4 times, right? First 5 weeks.
Crash in the back.
Crash in the back. That's Hamp around.
Philip Brewer, too.
And he locks it down in the middle of the racetrack. Great job there by the 44 to not get anyone else involved. But unfortunately, that will bring out our first caution of the night on lap 6.
It's been a few weeks this season where Rob Hamp has the difficulties early. Couldn't see what happened there.
Oh, he got tagged.
He got booted. That was Stefan Davis, who also got a big chunk of that. The rest of the field did a pretty good job checking up. I think there might have been a car back there that hit the wall checking up, but maybe a little sideways there, loses some momentum, but Stefan Davis just booted him. He ends up getting a pretty big chunk.
Brewer was kind of in the aftermath of this whole scenario.
Yeah, then like Hamp just came off the bottom, lost momentum, but Stefan Davis didn't check up, and there was nowhere for Philip Brewer to go. And then Stefan Davis gets a chunk of him there. And then just locking it down, hoping no one else absolutely demolishes you. Thankfully, everyone else got around.
We're watching on board here with Caleb Weekly. Where do you go? Where do you go?
Gonna avoid the smoke. There you go.
A great job there by Brewer. I just want to establish that when you lock it down like that in the middle of the racetrack, you're having faith that everybody's going to be able to dodge it. But if you try to do something erratic, like bring that car back to straight, you're most likely going to lose it. That was the smart move there.
Yeah, definitely a smart move, and you don't see that. Unfortunately, you don't see that enough on iRacing as a whole. Not this league specifically, but really on iRacing as a whole. I feel like a lot of people don't lock it down. It causes even more problems when you don't. So it's actually a pretty valuable skill to have. Just know to lock it down. That's the best chance you have to not get hit by any more oncoming traffic. And thankfully, he didn't get hit anymore. He still has a lot of damage from the initial contact to the outside wall and then to the 60, but could have been a whole lot worse.
So now we will come around one to go signal this time by nobody electing to come down to pit. That makes sense because we're only 8 laps in. We have limited tire sets. Of course, we talked about 4 tire sets available. And with the fuel tanks on these cars, they're probably going to run somewhere around 45 laps, I think is the max you can get around this place.
I don't know. We'll have to see. I think you might be pushing close to 60 to 70 with these little, the fuel tanks are a little bigger in these cars than an Xfinity car or a truck. So I wouldn't be surprised to see these drivers maybe try to go closer to lap 70, but it is a shortened fuel tank as well. So I think with the 80% fuel tank, we'll probably see guys only make it to about the 50 to 60 range, and it's still probably a 2-stop from here, even for the few drivers that did come down to pit, because there were a few that came down the pit. I thought I saw Kenny Kibbe coming off the pit lane. He started at the back of the field anyways, and it looked like he actually did take tires, but like I said, only really a handful of people came down the pit. He was one of them.
Working a little bit of strategy. Of course, you had Rob Hamp and a few others that picked up damage from that incident that had to come down pit road, but we are doubled back up. Going to go back green at lap number 10. Still have 37 cars rolling around here at Las Vegas. Philip Brewer, tough break for him, down 22 spots now. Going to be in recovery mode. And probably hoping for at least one more caution to get some of that damage repaired. He got the worst end of it there. 53 laps of fuel confirmed here from Brandon Wallace.
Yeah, so 50 to 60, so these drivers not going to be able to really, even with the stop here, you're not one-stopping it from here. So everyone's still on the same strategy. Some drivers might just try to lengthen this initial run, those drivers who took some extra fuel.
Here we go. Adam Cabot going to lead them into turn 1. Now has Jeff Wright with his first win last week to his outside. Not a good restart here for Jeff Wright. He's going to lose a lot of spots, and James Lehman on the back bumper. Missed shift maybe.
Yeah, definitely looked like he either missed a shift or shifted up 2 gears to be going that slow, but completely checked up the outside lane. It's going to let AJ Stravato get third from Jeff Wright. He's going to fall back even more spots here. Maybe Josh Adams looks like he just couldn't quite get the run off of turn number 2 to take advantage. A pretty costly restart there.
Of course, we talked about how they already had about 7 laps under green on their tires. It's a different approach when you go back. It could have been wheel spin, how notorious we had that last week there where guys were slipping the tires and almost right on cue where it happened.
You're not wrong. Also, Jeff Wright has never been one of the best at restarts, but just looking back at the replay, that would look like maybe he just didn't time the shift up into second gear correctly, because he just did get stuck at like top RPM in first gear, so definitely missed the shift a little bit there. Thankfully, he didn't money shift it. That's pretty hard to do on a sequential, so thankfully he's able to continue. No damage from the bumper of James Lehman.
Hold my beer, Connor. If it's hard to do it, I'll figure it out.
Well, hopefully not. I'd be impressed. You would have to give me money if you ever money shifted, just because of how embarrassing it is. Thankfully, Jeff Wright got away with it, and he's still pretty fast. He actually chopped Stravato there. He was clear Stravato, but all that dirty air really hurt the 33 as the battle for the lead's on between these two friends, Cabot and Turner, side by side.
Well, we can confirm now that the 48 is human. Now he's going to figure out a way as we get a little contact there between the 17 and the 24. And he falls back. He ends up losing a spot over that.
Didn't look like contact, just there's so many bumps on the bottom side of turns 1 and 2 that if you go down there, get pinched, you're going to lose a lot of momentum. That's exactly what happened there as Jeff Wright wound up the top in 3 and 4. He's going to try to get clear of Cabot before he has to deal with those bumps, but not quite able to there as they almost made contact going into turn number 1, but you're going to see the same thing from Jeff Wright, having to deal with those bumps, not as fast through the center, but he maintained through there a lot better than the 24 did.
stay at the quarter panel with the 24 looking to take advantage of this situation. He's going to peek 3 wide here off of 3 and 4, and here we go.
Oh, he might look 3 bottom.
Yep.
This is not where Jeff Wright wants to be, but I don't know if Cabot wants to be here. Turner got such a good run on both of them. They're going to stay 3 wide, but you're going to see that 24 wiggle across those bumps, kind of struggle to keep it down there, but able to maintain 3 wide. James Lehman, if he could, he'd go 4, but he's going to try to get 2 for 1 down the back straightaway.
And so for James Lehman, at Highline, this could be advantageous. He's going to try to get a 2 for 1 special out of turn 4. Of course, Cabot saw that, and that's a big run there.
But that's going to let Jeff Wright get a little bit of air between those cars in the 1, trying to stuff it into turn 1 and slide up in front of Cabot. He could not do it, though, and they're going to stay side by side.
I apologize to anybody else that's having a battle right now. Here's some side-by-side back for 17th, but it's been very eventful at the top spot. As this 12 will complete that pass, and now we get tight off of turn 4. They're still going at it.
Cabot got arrow loose because of Jeff Wright being all over his rear bumper, but this is exactly, Cabot's fine with letting Jeff Wright go down there because he knows with those bumps, as long as he just drives a smooth 1 and 2, Jeff Wright's not going to clear him. He's going to get the run off the top of turn number 2. That pass is going to be a struggle for the 48 to pull off without maybe bump drafting help from the 05 or 24. Lehman's driving that thing hard. They might get both of them here. Huge
yes,
run.
He will.
They almost hit for the lead, and Lehman might get Jeff Wright. Cabot's going to come and block. Lehman might have clipped the grass there, but now Lehman's in a bad spot.
Right there with the block. That's on board there with the 05. He ends up falling back 2 spots because of that clip on the grass.
And see, that's how easy it is. You lose any sort of momentum, you are going to lose positions. That's why it's tough to make that decision, to try to make that pass on the bottom. If you can't clear someone before the entry to the corner, especially turn 1, you're probably not making that pass work. Is Bailey Turner, another one. He's going to come right back to this battle. Someone, that thought throw cut was going in the grass. He kept it straight, but see, that time Turner's able to get second, and he didn't have to deal with any side draft or bumps in 1 and 2.
So we'll go on board here with the 12 of Logan Threlkeld. Santa all over the feed. We saw him passing there for the top 15 just a moment ago, so that mistake puts him back to 20th here.
Yeah, I don't know. He looks like, couldn't tell if he just got sideways or hit the wall or maybe reacted to something in front of him, but I thought he was going through the grass.
I think Trejo just hit the wall in front of him there.
Doesn't look like he has too much damage from it, but he definitely lost track position with that slide last lap. Is trying to get passed by Joseph McWhorter, who I believe also came down the pit. Also has maybe a little left front damage of a 73, but still picking some drivers off here. Kenny Kibbe following him through from the rear of the field.
Kibbe's up 11 spots, and like you said, Connor, if this guy would just qualify, he would be a top 10 threat every week.
Lehman just had a moment in turn 3, got a little sideways trying to race Jeff Wright. That actually cost him a spot to Elliott Butler. It's a great run for Elliott Butler, 4th position right now. It'd be tremendous for him. He's wheeling that thing, trying to get 3rd from Jeff Wright as Lehman slips back to the bumper of Stravado. But Elliott Butler is surging right now as they side by side for the lead once again between Cabot and Turner.
21 laps completed here from Las Vegas. Adam Cabot still holding on to the lead just barely with Bailey Turner inside.
McWhorter's going through the grass. He had another big slide out of turn 4. He's still trying to hold on to that thing, and he does. Incredible save, but there goes all that track position. Talk about a joyride. Look at this. Whoa, he just lost it completely. Get some air there. Still holding on to it as another jump here. I don't know how he kept that straight. Meanwhile, battle for the lead as McWhorter got back on the track. Bailey Turner has finally cleared Adam Cabot for the race lead. Got a good run off of 4. Cabot can try to fight back, but I think Turner's got the pace right now. Meanwhile, the battle for 3rd is starting to drift back from the battle for the lead. Lehman, Butler, Stravado all over each other as Jeff Wright's sliding back a little bit.
We've seen this a little bit. We were talking about Jeff Wright getting his first win late in this regular season. This car is just so confusing to drivers that are used to a wedged out system or suspension. This car with its independent rear end, it's very deceitful, and the way you're driving it, it's entirely different from anything else we do here on iRacing. It's almost like bringing a GT3 car to an oval.
That's kind of what it is with the diffuser on the inside of it. You got a completely different aero on these next-gen Cup cars, so it is almost like a road course car just trying to adapt it to an oval. And it's even, what, 3 years in almost to this car. There's still a lot of drivers having steep learning curves trying to figure this thing out as we're trying to figure out 3 wide for the 5th position in the turn number 1. That's going to be tight with the 48 loose on the bottom. He's going to try to slide up in front of everyone.
Oh.
Butler hit the wall, but they kept it straight. But yeah, steep learning curves for a lot of drivers. Still trying to figure out how to drive this thing, because all other stock cars in NASCAR usually drive them off the right rear. You cannot do that in this. We talk about it all the time. You try driving off the right rear, you're going to spin yourself out. You kind of have to drive off the right front, which means you kind of got to set up for a tight car, which is not something anyone wants to drive, but it's just how these cars are built.
Riding on board here with Michael Sturgill. I was talking about it earlier. We needed to get a quick look at the setup. So there is Michael and then Mike Sturgill just in the background there. I believe Mike Sturgill is trying to find him here in the running order.
27th, actually just slipped back 31st now. Maybe had a little bit of wiggle that previous lap. Looking at him, still got a battle for the lead. Kevin Turner keep like swapping the lead, which is funny, but while Mike Sturgill kind of at the back of the field after a good qualifying run, Michael trying to get his 2nd win of the season, but a lot of work to do, a lot of traffic from 3rd on back.
So technically a driver cam on board here. You can just get a glimpse there behind that monitor of the 53. They started in the same row and flip-flop. Opposite. Oops. Wrong button there, but yeah, just kind of a flip-flop here for the two of them. And I'm sure the more that Mike gets to race in the same setting and they can work together and talk about things, maybe that'll help him grow and learn on the service.
Just have to wait and see. Definitely been a bit of a struggle today, at least trying to figure out this track. Like we said, great qualifying run for Mike, but just not able to have the race pace. Has drifted back to that 30th position. The racing has still been pretty intense throughout the entire field. Kevin Turner still bumper to bumper, but they have kind of left that battle for 3rd, but Travado finally clear for 3rd. Maybe he can make some inroads, as these guys 3rd to 7th have been all over each other the past 10 laps. Throw Chad Klinger into the mix. He's been steadily in this battle as well. As this track, you see all the...
Oh, Jeff Wright hit the wall just now.
He did tap the wall a little bit, no damage done, but you're seeing the sunlight go away from this racetrack. Track temp still 104, but it's going to cool this track down just that little bit more. You're going to see less fall off the more we go into this race, as they're side by side for the lead again. The fall off over about, I guess, 25 laps on tires. It's been about 1.3 seconds, which is a little more than I thought it would be, as Turner slides up the racetrack. He made contact with Cabot there, so that's going to ruin all their momentum. Huge run for AJ Stravado, but he doesn't have enough time to get them before the entry to the corner.
Turner is going to pass back for the lead. This is traded hands a handful of times. I think right now we're sitting around 5. Yeah, 5 lead changes.
They've all been between like these 3 at the front right now. Lehman, Jeff Wright were all in there as well, but it just seems like whenever someone gets to the front, it seems like Clean Air is almost hurting their car instead of helping it. So and draft is still pretty strong in these next-gen cars on iRacing as well, so that draft just keeps propelling 2nd place or pulling 2nd place back up to the leader. So Clean Air not really helping these drivers right now.
Well, you're starting to see these guys bunch back up as well, and that's something that I think I watched with Stravado. He was saving his tires a lot longer than these guys up front. The top 4 just kind of pushed each other to make mistakes, and now you're starting to see them pay the price.
This is exactly what these next-gen cars kind of do. It keeps the field pretty packed up, and you see this kind of pack racing on a 1.5 miles. It's not like Atlanta, but it almost feels like it with how packed up the top 8 or so are right now. I mean, this line goes all the way back to Aronis in 8th before you get that gap to Elliott Butler in 9th. He started to fade, by the way. Stravato sideways off of turn number 2. Lehman desperately trying to get by. I'm going to boot him down the backstretch for some extra pace, as once again we have a lead change. Cabot just fired it into 3 to get it back, but watch this run. Bailey Turner's going to get, maybe try to take it back down the back straight, or the front straightaway, I should say.
James Lehman, I talked to him pre-race. He said, I feel like I need to prove something here tonight. So we're going to go back side by side for the lead. But the 05 has success. He's going to get loose off of 2.
Wow, he saved it. That was wild. I can't believe he saved that. But this has been an issue with him all season long. He'll qualify well, but he drives the tires off it, and then eventually it goes bad for him. He almost had it happen there again. Remember, it happened at Richmond. Last week he had issues as well, so it's just something he's got to figure out with the tires. Has to really keep the tires on the car. It's the skill he has to learn. He needs to get some long run pace.
Yeah, it has the speed for sure, but good luck learning in this car how to save tires. I know that there's a lot of factors backing up the corners, taking it easy on the throttle inputs. This car doesn't really give you a lot of feedback to tell you that you're doing something wrong until it's too late.
Oh, Jeff Wright's doing something wrong. He's still sliding out of turn number 4. The rear tires are gone on some of these drivers right now. He slid all the way through the middle of 3 and 4, and it cost him a number of spots there as Cabot Turner, they still have that gap over everyone else, but it seems like those rear tires are going away, but we shouldn't be too far away from pit stops.
Riding on board with Dakota Floyd, we have just about 10 laps, I would say, tackling on top of that. We had our in-race pit reporter there with Brandon Wallace confirming 53 laps is the average here tonight. Probably stretching into either direction, but I think right now these guys are just hoping they can get a caution and pit. I don't think they want to pit under green flag conditions. They're struggling right now.
I mean, even the leaders are struggling. Turner just tapped the wall. Cabot got sideways off of turn number 2. So these tires, about a second and a half of fall off, and they are struggling. But if you want to make it on 2 stops, you got to at least get to about lap 46, lap 47. You got to get around to there before you can consider making it a 2-stop. Otherwise, you got to do an extra stop. So they're still 10 laps away at least from making that strategy work.
Cabot now taking a little bit of a commanding lead. I think we've seen it all night. 2/10, almost 3/10 of a second as he pulls away. Billy Turner falls back to the clutches of AJ Stravato. And yeah, Michael Sturgill, Chad Klinger, the top 5. Closest battle on the racetrack right now. Nick Hapiak inside 16. Elliott Butler was having a good run. Now he's fallen out of the top 10. He's back here in 13th.
Almost seems like the same thing the 05 struggling with, just drove hard too early, or drove too hard early on, and then's paying the price now, just falling like a rock. But even the 05 hasn't fallen this far back. He's back in the 14th position. Lehman's still battling for the 7th position with Jeff Wright. So, and side by side behind them, look who's up into the 11th position, or 10th position, I should say. Julio Villalobos Jr. He started 3rd to last today. Kenny Kibbe also started there as well.
Me off. You said 11th, and then I was like, okay, I got this. And then Julio Villalobos also, yes, 25 positions gained, yes.
Yeah, both of them have driven through the field. Obviously, I think Kibbe did take tires, so maybe that made a little bit of a difference, even though they only had about 6-7 laps on the tires. I believe Villalobos did not pit at all, so they've kind of been on the same trajectory regardless up through this field. Now they're battling for that top 10 spot as Stravato at the front got to that 2nd position, as I think I saw Brian Chambliss come down the pit. He did not even come close to hitting pit road speed. But Stravato looking like he's going to be the next driver to challenge Cabot for the race lead.
Get back on the V-Speed instant replay really quickly. I think Chambliss is getting loose. I don't think he was intending to pit.
Not much he could do there at that point. Also saw Benjamin Richards on pit road there as well. He's called it a night. No contact or anything. Just decided to call it a night, as you're finally starting to maybe see it get a little bit more calm, but this is still a little bit of a pack race. I mean, you got the top 16 or 17 just kind of bunched up, but then it's much more spread out once you get to the back half of the field.
And I'm paying close attention here to AJ Stravado. I really believe he saved his stuff. He didn't get to racing until we were 15, 20 laps into this run. And now he's starting to pick off this top three. I think just before pit stop, Stravado's going to take over the lead.
One thing I'm surprised about, we're seeing Adam Cabot. I'm not surprised to see him running the middle 1 and 2. You got those bumps on the bottom that hurt you. Talk about that. But I am surprised to see him, for the most part, running the middle line in 3 and 4. Now, I've always seen the bottom's always been definitely the best line in 3 and 4, but you're seeing Cabot run the middle of the racetrack. You're seeing Hronis up the track, but this is surprising. We've seen this at some tracks where that groove will move up as Stravado taps the wall there, but he's still got to run on Cabot. But I am shocked to be seeing these drivers not painting the white line in 3 and 4, but they're making it work. But 33 is making it work even better as you're starting to see the guys who saved their tires pulling away from the pack.
Cabot defends on the exit of turn 2, holds Stravado behind him there. Stravado had to run out of forward. Like I said, he tapped the wall, but I think it kind of bounced the momentum to the inside. Cabot is defending every chance he can get here. They're getting tight.
With any tire he has left, he's defending. He's kind of been consistent in the 31.8 bracket for the last 10 laps. This is still going to be a pretty tough pass for the 33 Stravado to pull off, and they're probably within a 5-lap window from both of them pitting, and getting to pit road first might make a big difference.
Defended again here off of turn 2. Sitting just shy of that pit road, and Stravado even loose. They're going to get really close. I think this time by the 33 is going to lead a lap.
Had some drivers pit there. James Lehman, Dakota Floyd both pit, so that's the beginning of green flag pit stops cycling out as they stay side by side for the lead. Just that pass on the bottom, a little too tough to do. They are almost making contact out of turn number 2. Stravado way sideways off the corner, has to give way to the 17. There's not much you can do when you're getting pinched down over those bumps. He's going to get sideways right here, and then he's going to have to chase it up the track. He did everything in his power not to run Cabot into the wall, but it almost cost him second.
I think right there, just trying to get around the 17 car. He did give a lap lead, so I wasn't wrong, but he never did actually claim that lead. Now you're at the point where, did I save too much? I don't think so. I think right now for the 33 of Stravado, it's a matter of getting on and off pit road better than the guy in front of you. That's going to happen in just about 6 laps.
Well, any tire he saved, he probably lost with that slide on the inside because he has not been able to get back to Cabot, but someone behind him might be getting there. Chad Klinger's moved his way up into a 3rd position, so I would say the battling Cabot and Turner did really hurt their stuff, but Cabot was fortunate to get the clean air, and he's able to kind of maintain his spot. Bailey Turner, on the other hand, looking to be struggling at this point in the run, as Angelo Hronis is going to drive right by him.
Logan Threlkeld starting to surge back, and then another mistake. I'm not sure what happened here for Threlkeld, but he went from about 21st back to 23rd.
Trying to see, couldn't quite see what happened. He's actually back there with McWhorter, surprisingly. Not McWhorter, Mike Sturgill. McWhorter's still not even close because of the slide he had. But yeah, definitely had a few mistakes here and there. 30. Ooh, Bailey Turner just pit. They're side by side for second. Klinger and Stravado live, but 24. I'm not surprised to see him pit, but at the same time, this is pretty much on track of when you'd want to pit, but a lot of drivers stretching this thing out pretty long, much longer than I thought they would.
So sitting here on lap number 50.
Ooh, I thought he missed a stall.
Close one.
Up here come. Stravado's out of the picture. I think here's a lot of drivers. Stravado,
he's locking it up.
Squirrely. I think he might be in. Hronis, Kibbe, Shepard, Max Koss. They're all in the pit lane. No penalties. All of them are in safe. But you would think either the 17 goes and just runs the fuel out, or he's going to have to respond right here. There's not a lot of people left on track. Cabot, Klinger, Josh Adams, Sturgill, Michael Sturgill, Jeff Wright.
No, he's not. Yes, he is.
Yes,
I think
he
he's
is.
ever committed.
No, I think he's got it. That commitment line's much further than that yellow line. He actually might have been a little too soft on pit entry, actually. He did not push it like the 33 of Stravato did, and that might play a factor in how much ground Stravato makes up on him. I am surprised to see Jeff Wright staying out there. His long run pace didn't look good, but he's been stretching this thing out. Not surprised to see Chad Klinger and Josh Adams running this out because their long run pace looks pretty darn good.
So the 09 and the number 6 are going to go an additional lap on top of this. Now approaching 53 laps. This might be running it out of fuel.
Jeff Wright's in, trying to see where Cabot comes out. He had that number 1 pit stall, and he is going to come out for the time being in front of Stravato, but he's got to get up the speed. I thought Stravato would have beat him out of the pits by much more, but it's not going to be too big of a difference, although he is going to be side by side with Bailey Turner. Got Klinger's in.
I think a lot of that time that was just lost there was the fact that the 33 pitted a lap sooner, right? And it's just that ground that you make up with fresher tires.
Whoa.
10th here and 10th there. What a cut there from the 24.
Tight stuff. I was watching Sturgill and Villalobos come down the pit, but I was also watching, I thought they were going to wreck each other coming up on Donnie Kite there. That was tight stuff right there. As we're still waiting on a few drivers to pit. Adams, Elliott Butler, Nick Hapiak, Kite, Belkey, at least, I don't know, about 8 or so drivers still out there running. Actually, more than that. Threlkeld, Brandon Wallace. So it looks like really the top 10 we're still waiting on.
Yeah,
looks like Butler came down.
Rob Ditton now as he comes down pit road.
Ooh, Belkey's in. Licata's alongside him. They almost made contact.
Kite, he's going a little bit extra here. Hapiak, Adams, and Donnie and Kite, they're on the same strategy here. Staying out as long as they can.
Yeah, we'll see if it ends up working out. When you can't cut a stop out by going long, I just don't know how much I like it. In the draft, if you don't come out with draft, it actually hurts you a little bit because draft plays a big factor. We saw that pack of 15 or 16 pull away from the rest of the field. So getting out with some drivers around you actually does make a pretty big difference. So Hapiak, Hodges, Rob Hamp, Brandon Wallace, Kite, Threlkeld, they all got to make that decision, as I believe Kite and Threlkeld both came in, as did Josh Adams, but still waiting on these top 4. So it looks like Hapiak just got the pit lane.
So Christopher Hodge is going to stay out one additional lap. He was one of the drivers that brought it down pit road during that caution, topped off with fuel, and now he's going to lead some laps.
He's pretty darn slow on the track. He's not saving, so it's not the case, but definitely his pace is a little lower. He ran a 32.3 last time by. Comparing it to the guy who's going to cycle out to the lead right now is James Lehman. Lehman's running 30.8, so he's 1.5 seconds faster than this 51 car right now.
So for Hodges, this is a gain of 35 positions, started at the tail end of this field. Missed 1 week and fell out of the top 10. I think he actually missed 2 races. He had 1 drop week, but you miss 2 races here in Saturday Night Racing League. It happens very quickly.
Just trying to get some laps led. I believe you do get bonus points for that, so if not, you do. So he'll get at least 1 point from these laps that he's leading right now, and he has no pressure. Brandon Wallace, Rob Hamp on the same strategy, battling each other, but they're 6 seconds back. Philip Brewer, obviously he had the issues with the first caution of the race. He did repair that thing, but he's still been waiting on a yellow ever since to get back on the lead lap.
Yeah, I was just checking in there with him in 29th position right now, 1 lap down. There's about 5 or 6 other cars ahead of him. We look here at Nick Wood, the first car a lap down. Bailey Turner and James Lehman, side by side.
Yeah, Lehman pit a little earlier. He pit lap 45. Bailey Turner pit lap 49, so no use trying to defend the 24. Turner's going to drive away from Lehman here, so that is the battle for what will cycle to be the race lead. Looks like Rob Hamp is on pit lane, so still waiting on 2 others. They still have 10 laps to get the halfway. Just doesn't seem likely, but you never know. They could also catch a yellow, and that would really flip things.
So I'm a little interested in what AJ Stravado has been bottling up here.
Like Hodges is in.
I think the 33 car is going to figure something out here. He's been bad fast at the tail end of these runs, and with him going a little bit further, the cars in front of him here, I think this is going to pay dividends.
Yeah, definitely going to pull away from James Lehman, but he's going to have fresher tires than, he only has a lap fresher tires than Bailey Turner, but what I think is going to make the difference if we get this run to go green is that it's not a pack, excuse me. It's not a big pack where he's having to deal with having to defend for the second position as well as trying to pass for the race lead. It's kind of just going to be him and Bailey Turner once he saves his tires and decides he wants to go for the race lead. So unless the 17 gets up there, I think it's just going to be a little bit of a 1v1 once Stravado decides to put the throttle down. It definitely seems like he's trying to keep his stuff on the car right now.
Connor, I can confirm you get one of those a year. You didn't use it, so we're fine.
I didn't say it.
Yeah, you're fine. We're good.
I don't have to pay anything. It's not coming out of my paycheck, Adam.
He's leaving in third position. Adam Cabot back here in fourth. Going back to 18th position. We got some side-by-side. Caleb Weekly, Elliott Butler, Matt Shinosky on the 31. There's the 16th one to the inside. Weekly on the high line.
16, just trying to figure out the long run pace, as Philip Brewers actually called it a night. Don't think anything happened, but decided too many drivers a lap down. He pulled it in, so second retirement of the race. But Elliott Butler just trying to figure out the long run pace. We saw him very fast short run into top 5, but dropped like a rock, even harder than the 05 or the 48. You can see definitely has pace on the short run, getting these positions up to 16th, but got to figure out how to keep that pace in the car before the next pit stop.
I think his strategy of staying out longer than everybody else also set him back a little bit more, but now it's going to pay off. I think he'll get back to the top 10. He'll have about 6 lap fresher tires than some of these guys in front of him, maybe 3 laps than the guys in the top 10. It's kind of all over the place. Everybody trying to out-strategize the other. If you stretch this run an extra 2 or 3 laps compared to where the average on fuel was, yeah, you'll probably gain something, but how much time do you lose here, Connor, when somebody short pits you by 2 or 3 laps?
I mean, that's at least about probably 3 to 4 seconds alone, and that's not even factoring in if you get off a pit road worse, if you get on the pit road slower, stuff like that makes a big difference. Plus, everyone's pit stop times are going to be a little bit different as well. There is a little bit of luck involved with how fast your pit stop is, so it's at least 3 seconds by getting short pit, and if you don't come out in that draft, it becomes a pretty big issue, as Stravado has all the draft he needs right now. He is showing the pace to get by Bailey Turner here, but we still haven't seen him be able to complete this pass with a lead, and he's got to go quick because Adam Cabot on even fresher tires is about to catch up to this battle.
Yes, he is. In the mirror of the 33, Stravado has not declared the lead. He did lead a lap, and he has not officially taken it over. And it looks like the 24 going to get a little bit loose here.
Yeah, he got way too loose in the middle of 3 and 4. He's not going to be able to defend that. And now Stravado has the line he wants, so nothing Bailey Turner could do about that.
And now here comes Adam Cabot on a little bit fresher tires. Stravado's still not able to complete that pass. They're going to look 3 wide out of 2. And Turner holds it down there.
They're all driving it hard off the corner there, but Bailey Turner, now that he's back to 3rd, he might start to struggle a little bit here. But now, as quickly as he got the lead, he's going to have to defend it from the 17 of Cabot. But look at that big wiggle off the top. Oh, it's hard.
And just as soon as he took it, Cabot takes it back.
I'm telling you, there's something about clean air that you don't want on this car. He got the lead, and yes, Adam Cabot was on his bumper, but he got way sideways and almost lost it completely. He's still struggling, slid off a turn 2 there, but it just seems like you don't want to lead this race. You'd almost certainly rather be in Bailey Turner's spot and just sit in 2nd with the dirty air almost.
We've seen this at other racetracks this season. Once these cars got up to the front, they lost that speed. I think it's the air on the nose is planting those front tires and actually making the back end loose. So these guys wiggling out of these corners. Once you're in clean air, yeah, a lot of downforce on the hood of this machine.
And it definitely makes a difference whether you're 1st or 2nd, big time for sure. Seeing Cabot, we'll see what type of lead he can get here. He has the freshest tires, only by 2 laps over Turner, 1 lap over Stravado, but making a little bit of a difference right now. He's up in the lead by 2.5 tenths. Trying to look at Jeff Wright, who stayed out a little bit longer. He's back to the 10th position. He's a little bit further back from the main pack, which I would say is 5th on back, as J.R. Shepard just took 5th position from Dakota Floyd. He had taken it from James Lehman. But Kenny Kibbe's up to 4th. Didn't even note that until now, but Stravato gets back the 2nd position, and the battle for 4th and 5th is still ongoing.
Kenny Kibbe. Again, we're just going to say it. No qualify. Maybe he finds it fun. I don't know.
I mean, it is fun. I used to do it all the time. It is fun driving through the field, but at some point you got to try to win some races. It's much harder to win them when A, they go green, and B, you don't qualify. But he's, you know, he's without, he's a 2.5 back. He pit lap number 50. Lap number 50. So the same lap as Stravato, I believe. So his cars are just as good.
Car in the top 10 right now.
Yeah, he pulled away from that battle for 5th. Shepard and Hronis are side by side right now. I mean, he is motoring those guys. Last time by, he was once again faster than all the drivers in the top 3. So showing some dangerous pace right now. And we'll see if Chad Klinger can get through 5th through 8th quick, because he was much faster than everyone else. He pit pretty darn late, but we've got some traffic to deal with.
This is on board with the 09. Yeah, 2 laps led. He's going to get a little loose.
Some more dirt tracking. That's going to cost him some time. Here comes Jeff Wright, just going to blow by him. Not what you want to do just past halfway, as another retirement from this race. Logan Threlkeld has retired from this race. Hamp's hitting pit lane. He has some front end damage. He had that from the wreck prior. Like Threlkeld, don't know what happened, but just called it a night. It's one of the biggest leads we've seen anyone have. It's only 0.4 of a second roughly,
yeah.
But I think what's hurting Stravato now is that he's got Bailey Turner on his rear bumper, loosening him up, as Rob Hamp has also called it a night at the same time. But those two are staying bumper to bumper, hurting both each other, both aero for both drivers. It's letting Cabot get the room he needs to get away. These cars are pretty loud, by the way, Bradley, but I don't know if they're loud enough. What do you think?
I think they need to turn it up a little bit here.
I agree.
Why don't we just go ahead and get loud here, presented by FireStorm Racing. Presented by FireStorm Racing, and Adam Cabot now out to the biggest lead we've seen all night over half a second. It was just around 6/10 there before he entered turn 1. Bailey Turner and AJ Servato, they went back and forth a lot, and Kenny Kibbe's starting to sneak his way into the top 3.
He's faster than these two right now, and I think Bailey Turner is still faster than AJ Servato. Just whatever Servato was doing to save his tires last run, he's not been able to do it this run, at least not yet. I mean, he's sliding off of every corner, and we're still, probably another 20 laps away from final pit stops under green. So he has 20 laps or so to try to get the tires back under him and maybe make a charge towards the front, but he definitely doesn't have the pace of the 17, and he's struggling. Obviously has been passed by the 24 as well, but we'll see if Kibbe has anything for either of these two. You know, catching's one thing, passing's another. We say it all the time. He was actually 2/10 slower last time by, but looks like he gained a big chunk this time around. His battle behind them, Jeff Wright, he stayed at it a little longer, trying to get back towards the top 5, looking for 6th to the inside of Angela Horonis. That's one side-by-side battle. It's actually one of the few side-by-side battles we have. Another one is for 19th. Case Lakatos, Caleb Weekly doing battle at the start-finish line. They are about half a track behind our race leader as that got there. I don't think he was ready for that. Weekly slid as well. I don't think they both wanted to hit each other, but it's exactly what happened.
Let's just dial that one back on a replay. I think we need a better look at that one. They were sliding back and forth.
Yeah, I don't think Lakatos thought Weekly was going to try to take the bottom, so I think Lakatos slowed down, made himself slide, just trying to avoid contact, and then Weekly just got sideways on his own, so that was a little bit chaotic there. Just ahead of that, we got Donnie Kite taking not a position. He's in 18th, but that was a pass on Stephen Davis, who is a few laps down.
Weekly just got loose there out of 2.
He's continuing to get sideways. This battle won't go away anytime soon. These drivers are all over each other. They're just in their own plane of existence right now, and no one really close enough to battle the both of them.
Weekly putting up a fight there on Lakatos. That was for 19th. A little bit off the pace here tonight for the 13 car. Downshifting. You hear it bounce into the rev limiter a little bit there.
Some tracks I get that, just trying to get the RPMs low, trying to get some better run off the corner, but I think at a track where it seems like everyone's struggling with rear grip off the corner, I wouldn't suggest shifting when you have rear grip issues like he's having and like even the drivers leading are having. So it's a bold decision to make, and top 20 run, not horrible, but very, very tricky to try to maintain some grip while doing that.
On the outside there, Jeff Wright had Chad Klinger go by in the 7th position. Kenny Kibbe still not quite on the back of the 33. They're watching Adam Cabot drive away a full second now for the 17 car. 85 laps in, we're starting to approach just about 20 laps shy here of when these drivers will pit. And with that, I think it's a perfect opportunity to take one of those quick commercial breaks here on VSPEED. Of course, you are watching the Saturday Night Racing League live from Las Vegas. More coverage will continue in just a moment.
To keep pace with the ever-changing landscape of marketing and advertising, let Clark Print Shop help you spot the trends and keep you in front of the pack with all your color printing needs.
From business cards to invitations, menus to mugs, we can print anything you need on paper or your choice of over 3,000 promotional items.
Visit www.clarkprintshop.com to browse our online catalog and place your order today, or call us at 276-889-3426. For a limited time, use the code iRacing for 23% off your first purchase. The staff at Clark Print Shop looks forward to handling all your color printing needs.
In the heartland of our country, something magical is happening. At Walk In and Roll in Costumes, we know the power of community, of hands coming together to create wonders. These costumes are symbols of love, compassion, and inclusion. Your hands can craft dreams. Join us at Walk In and Roll in Costumes build events and be a part of something extraordinary.
Start your engines!
And for the first time this season, the Saturday Night Racing League, presented by M&J Distributors, is underway at Daytona.
It's killing this line because McWhorter can't complete the pass, and he's sideways off the corner, and he held on to it. Oh, Otto gets turned into turn number 3. McWhorter, Klinger, all in the outside wall. Caution is out. We're going to get a late race restart. Joshua Banks coming out of turn number 4, win number 6 in Saturday Night Racing League. First of the season for the 35. He gets it done in Dover.
The new winner this season, the 09 of Chad Klinger, off of turn 4. He will be victorious tonight at Phoenix. But the 73 of Joseph McWhorter is going to be your season 2 champion. Here he comes off of turns 3 and 4. It sounds like he saved enough fuel. Seth Hatchell, with an excellent strategy, is going to win here tonight at Kentucky Speedway.
Banks takes him 3 wide down the backstretch for the lead. Look at this, 3 wide again. The top 3 still 3 wide for the lead. Banks on the inside, right in the middle, Kevin to the outside.
I can't believe what I'm watching right now.
Let me tell him one time, I've been on the grind, this is my prime. Let me tell him one time, I've been on the grind.
Pull those belts tight. You're watching Saturday Night Racing League, only on VSPEED.
Welcome back live here from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And some of these drivers like Dakota Floyd, Jeff Wright, James Lehman, J.R. Shepard have found their way down pit road. They're going to try to make this a full fuel run all the way to the end of this thing. Short pitting on the strategy, and we're approaching 45 laps to go. Adam Cabot with a major lead here. 2.5 seconds over AJ Stravato. And it continues to grow. Billy Turner just behind the 24. Chad Klinger into the top 5. Klinger looking to the inside. He was all over the back bumper.
Caution. And it's a crash.
Out.
It's Joseph McWhorter on the front stretch, and that hurts so many people who came down the pit, especially Kenny Kibbe, who was running top 5. Been that kind of season for Joseph McWhorter. 16th position across the line. Let's see, battling with, I think that's Ben Laughter. Same thing as earlier, just lost it out of 4. has to go over these jumps, and this time he couldn't save it and slapped the outside wall hard.
And he already wore the groove in down there in the grass, and I think he hit his own ruts.
And that's going to take some drivers, well, it's going to make people take the wave around. Lehman, Wright, Kibbe, Shepard, Dakota, Floyd. They were all top 10. They'll all have to take the wave around, while everyone else who hadn't pit gets to take probably their final pit stop under caution.
This shakes things up. Kind of puts Jeff Wright, Kenny Kibbe, and a few others out of the picture for this win. And I think the 24, the 09, 2 of them missed their box. 3 of them.
Cabot definitely missed his box. I couldn't see if the 09 did or not, but we'll see what the race off of pit lane looks like. Here comes Stravato. I think Stravato's got it. Yeah, Cabot, that cost him the lead.
Yep.
So Stravato comes out with the lead. You're going to have Chad Klinger in second. Oh, what a front row that is. With Cabot third, Hronis fourth, Josh Adams fifth, and Bailey Turner came out of that sixth because I believe he also missed his stall.
Well, I think Klinger has moved on to Bailey Turner. I don't think that him and Stravato have any beef anymore.
Yeah, I don't know about that. We'll see. I think when he sees, I mean, it's a very recognizable 09, so I think he probably gets angry whenever he sees it, but should be an interesting restart because we'll restart with roughly 40 to go, so it's not going to be too long of a run for the tires to wear out, especially with how cool this track's going to get. You know, even when the track gets cooled off by the sunlight not being on it, it still stays pretty warm because you got, 30 drivers on track warming it up. But we get cooled down, there's no sun on the track right now, and we get a yellow, it's going to cool down significantly. It's already down to 98, so this track's going to be very different for this restart. A lot more grip. Probably less fall off.
We had just a moment ago. Cloud cover is starting to pick back up. Now half the racetrack in the sunlight is trying to come back out.
You can see the long line of wave around starting. Looks like Austin Belkey's the first one to come around, but really, like I said, the guys who really did not need that were Lehman, Wright, Kibbe, Shepard, and Dakota Floyd. Those 5, all of them were top 10, and now they have a big recovery on their hands. And now you got new names in the top 10. You got Sturgill 7th, he was top 10, but Villalobos, Happyak, Elliott Butler, definitely benefiting from this.
We're going to take that green flag just around 40 laps to go. 41 left. It's getting more and more interesting. An untimely caution. We saw that in the Challenger Series. And a long green flag run here with almost 2 rounds of green flag pit stops for everyone. AJ Stravato, Chad Klinger on the front row for this next one. I've been impressed here with AJ Stravato. I think he's had race-winning pace, but Adam Cabot, still lurking back behind him. Klinger on the inside. Green flag is out, back underway from Las Vegas.
Oh, we got a jump. Not a great one for Chad Klinger, but he is clear for second. With Adam Cabot on his bumper, trying to gain back that track position after pit stops. He was looking to run away with this race. It's going to be a tougher thing to do now. We're back kind of in a pack race. He's getting a bump draft down to back straightaway from Bailey Turner as they're 2x2, second on back.
Hronis on the outside. He's been pinned up there for a couple laps now. Ever since this restart, he's continuing to lose spots as I think Turner just brushed the wall there.
Chad Klinger definitely hit it. I don't know if Turner brushed it or hit it himself, but those two working together trying to get by that 09, get themselves up into second and third. Cabot trying to go for the lead. He got to the bumper of the 33, maybe loosened him up, got him up the track a little bit. He's almost back to the lead already.
The track temperature came down to 97, but the sun is back out, so I think we're going to reapproach that 100-degree mark. Triple digits, 3 wide.
Oh, Stravato, he is, sooner or later, he's going to break that right side tire with how hard he keeps hitting the wall. But now Turner going to the outside to push the 33 by because he wants to get the lead away. Watch how sideways Stravato's going to get here with the 24 all over his rear bumper as Turner almost into the wall. These guys are all over the track right now.
Well, this is the last 40 laps. You have to leave it all out there. You're not going to come back down pit road if you're in this top 5. That would be race ending. You're going to stay out here and run this thing out as hard as you can. I think if you're outside the top 10, we get another caution, yeah, bring it down. But right now, if you're in the top 10, you've got to commit.
I think at this point, the person really hating this type of racing is Adam Cadden, because we got pretty spread out as he almost hit the 24th turner. He was gone. 3-second lead, couldn't take a pit stop. He was probably all good. But now we're back to this type of pack racing that we're going to see probably for the rest of this run and the rest of this race, regardless of if we get a yellow or not. This is probably what we're going to keep seeing, as big move from Turner, but down to the apron to go for the lead. Travato tried to chase him down the track to get that side draft. He could not do it. See how hard Turner drives into one, trying to clear up.
That's pretty deep.
Oh, he forced Travato out of the groove there. Travato's in the wall. Even harder that time.
Angelo Horonis has been holding solid and steady in this top 10, fighting with Chad Klinger. I think these guys that are outside the top 5 right now, just biding their time. I see the 3 of Sturgill creeping back into the picture as well. I think you can afford right now to just save your stuff for as long as possible. Because top 5 is going to use it up before this thing's said and done. You could find yourself in the top 3.
Problem is, if you get one yellow, all that tire savings pretty much out the window, because you get an even slower or smaller run to the end. So you got to be careful how much you want to save your stuff, as right now Bailey Turner's not saving anything. He's trying to weave, get out of the draft range of Travato, anything to keep the lead, but Travato not going away. He's going to boot him into turn number 1.
Give him a little, hey, how are you, into turn 1. Turner holds on. This next-gen car loves to bump draft, but not on the entry of the corner.
You got to be careful doing that. Here comes Josh Adams. Where'd he come from? He's looking for the second position to the inside of AJ Stravato. Elliott Butler is battling Adam Cabot for 4th. The short runs, if he can get a few more of those, he's really in contention. He's back up to the top 5.
Side-by-side continues there for the second position. Stravato holds on to it.
And again, oh, look out. Big run for Elliott Butler. Where does he go? He's just going to shove Stravato by Josh Adams, try to use the high line, as Stravato almost turned himself off of Josh Adams' nose. As the caution's out, oh, as Elliott Butler and Josh Adams made contact, Butler hit the wall. The yellow, I believe, was for Eddie Trejo in the background. That was action-packed.
Yeah, it was.
Gosh.
Well, remember what I said, Connor. If you're outside the top 10, what do? I think you come down pit road.
Just lose your mind. That's what it seemed like. Looks like Austin Belkey got a big chunk of that too. Ray Massey was involved. We'll see. I think most drivers should have 2 tire sets left. As, oh man, Ray Massey just kind of turned Trejo, pinched him to the wall too hard there. And man, oh, Shinosky got a piece of that as well. So at least 4 cars in that. That looked like Ray Massey was just pinching Eddie Trejo to the wall way too hard. I mean, Trejo was basically in the wall. Bit of an angle over here, and just kind of comes up too much. Then they all come back up, nowhere for the 89 to go.
I'm gonna get a blimp angle here on Ray Massey.
You see him down the back straightaway. Trejo's against the wall. You know, Massey trying to side draft, but still too hard. Chambliss sneaks by. Shinosky and Belkey could not. Shoemaker somehow did. Shinosky might have gotten away with it a little bit. He might not have too much damage, but he definitely had some damage. As definitely had drivers come down the pit there. I'll tell you what, that was a lot more people pitting than I thought there would be. We only have 3 drivers stay out. And it looks like Bailey Turner took 2.
Where have we seen that before?
This is early, though. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a lot of laps left. That's 30
this is a lot
laps,
different.
roughly.
It's a lot different from Kentucky and Auto Club, but I am shocked. Everyone seemed to pit there. You know, 24 drivers lead lap. If he gets a yellow late, Stravato's not in horrible shape, but I bet even he's stunned that many people had stayed out. And it looks
Yeah.
like, I will say, the other 2 people that stayed out are not people on his strategy either, because Kenny Kibbe and Dakota Floyd, if you remember, had to take the wave around. So their tires are even a little older.
Yeah, I'm thinking back to what I said, if you're outside the top 10. Well, apparently everybody thought the same thing, and we'll have to size it up. I think right now, if you're in the top 4, not the place you want to be.
Yeah, definitely going to be tough for those 3 up at the front. Bailey Turner is going to get the jump in 4th. Now you got Josh Adams. He's got 2 tires, though. He's, I believe, the only one on that strategy, which, yeah, you know, if everyone pitting there, I am a little surprised he did that. Josh Adams going to be the first one on 4 tires, but I think Cabot's going to be in the best spot here in 6th on 4 tires. Yeah, you get Sorry, you get one of 2 races. Sorry, you get one of 2 races at Vegas. You know, I think what, season 2, you had chaos at the end of that race, which kind of cost Jeff Wright a title. But then you get last season's race, which was pretty run-of-the-mill as the finale. So right now, it's almost looking like we're getting option number 1 right now.
And I don't know if I like 2 tires this early, like you were saying. I think for Turner, this might have been one of those you just signed it off to Cabot. But he still has to get around Stravato. There's 3 cars in front of these guys with new tires. And Kenny Kibbe, who's shown a lot of pace, see how he can hold on. This is one of those wave around situations. You just gotta make your bed and lay in it. Green flag back underway at Las Vegas. Where do you go?
Kibbe and Floyd didn't really get going. It's going to hold Bailey Turner back a little bit. Also held Josh Adams back, but it gives Stravato maybe a little bit of life here, but Turner's going to force the issue to the middle of the racetrack.
Making them 3 wide out of 1 and 2.
Huge run.
3 wide again behind him.
Huge run. He's going to get the lead before we even get to turn number 4, maybe. Stravato's going to try to pinch him down. It's really tight in behind. Everyone's trying to wreck. Everyone is in the wall. Cabot hit it. Kibbe hit it. Angelo Horonis is going to go spinning into the grass. He saves it. We're going to stay green, but for how much longer? Look at this mess in the turn number 1.
Bailey Turner takes the lead. They're running 3 and 4 wide across the tri-oval just behind him.
Butler's in the wall. Cabot got clear of him. That's what he needed. He does not need to be in a middle 3 wide mess, but he's already lost a bunch of time to Bailey Turner. Now it's clean air, but he's still got Dakota Floyd up there on 2 tires. More drivers in the wall. Everyone's bouncing off one another.
Jack Klinger on the inside of the 16. In the background back here, James Lehman.
Ben Laughter.
Ben Laughter in the 64.
Saved it. How did he save that? Goodness. Caleb Weekly also blinked out. I don't know where he went. He's maybe alt-F forward. I don't know, but I don't know how they kept that straight.
Wow. That was Netcode that sent the 64 down.
That was crazy. I cannot believe he saved that car. I cannot believe he'd gone green through all this. Meanwhile, Bailey Turner is trying to pull away as fast as he can because Josh Adams and Adam Cabot are about to get around this 33 car.
So Josh Adams with the freshest tires in this top 3 now. He has 4 of them. Bailey Turner only has 2.
Well, Stravato, big wiggle up off the bottom of the racetrack there. This is not going to work if he doesn't get that yellow. Dakota Floyd going to boot him down the front straightaway, just trying to give him a boost. Not Caleb Weekly. Chad Klinger's going to try to get by both of them. Oh, so close to the bumper of Stravato there. Big run for Sturgill. Can't go anywhere. Here comes Klinger.
This is what 10 laps on tires looks like here. For the 33, he's feeling that fall off. You know, it's only a couple tenths, but when you're on uneven sets, it's an eternity. And all he can do is defend for as long as possible to try to stay in this top 10.
The amount of drivers that are on the different strategy, I mean, he's on an island basically. There's nothing he can do. He's got no friends right now that are on his same strategy around him right now. But he's doing a good job defending Klinger for now. But you see Klinger just tire difference, made all the world's difference into 3 there. Just drove it hard into 3. He's able to clear up. He might bring Michael Sturgill with him.
Side by side back here for the 12th position, Casey Lakatos, Kenny Kibbe. Kibbe, one of those drivers that stayed out as well. He had the long run pace. I'm really surprised the 14 didn't bring it down pit road, but of course he was part of that wave around situation with that strange caution that came out. Josh Adams, Bailey Turner making 2 tires work better than I thought he would.
We'll see if the fall off happens a little harder for the 24 though, but like you said, definitely holding on for now. Not really running slow times. As a matter of fact, he might have pulled away from Adams a little bit. Actually, they all ran pretty identical laps in the top 3, but Adam Cabot a little bit slower.
And we had some compliments here on the iRacing service for their new art at Las Vegas. And Connor, I know we've gotten a couple glimpses at it so far. Beautiful setting. Love the yellow walls. And we got new B-roll for this racetrack with its new update. But what we haven't talked about is, even though there was an art update, it wasn't just that. There is a little bit of, we got back here with Kenny Kibbe. Cars down 4 wide.
Whoa, look out on the rejoin. Lakatos went below the white line to avoid all that, but this race is unraveled for Kibbe as the battle for the lead side by side. Josh Adams got to the inside. It's Kentucky all over again between these two.
And Josh Adams did not get the good end of that last time at Kentucky.
Neither of them did.
Yeah.
But you see that it's just like Kentucky as well. That pass on the bottom still going to be tough to do. He's going to have to muscle Turner out of the way before the 17 gets there. There's contact.
Oh, that's muscle.
It's not muscle where you want to use it, though. And this is going to bring Adam Cabot right to both of them.
So before the leaders rudely interrupted me, I was talking about the art update and how beautiful this racetrack is. And Connor, I know that we've seen quite a few updates at different venues. Dover, Bristol, Darlington. Just an amazing setup here, and really liking how iRacing's kind of converting everything over.
Yeah, it's just Las Vegas was overdue for sure for an update. It looks so much better than it used to. Another one's New Hampshire. That's one that definitely needed it, and they finally got that track updated. We go there next week. That's another one we're going to be able to see in person. I believe Kansas might have gotten minor updates as well. We'll go there in 2 weeks' time, but it's definitely nice to see all these tracks getting well-deserved updates. This track looks so much better. It would look even better with a classic finish. We're gearing up for one because Bailey Turner's still holding on, but you could tell Adams is a little bit faster, and I suspect Adam Cabot just hoping this goes green and just keeping his tires in just the right spot.
I think for Adams, he's kind of dialed it back a little bit. He saw how much Turner still had left in the tank. Choosing to run a little bit different line. Keeping air on the front end. He got side-by-side again back here with Stravato, who's falling back. Just hanging on to the top 10 as Lakatos goes by on the inside.
This yellow was a great break for Lakatos.
He's getting loose.
Maybe not. Look out, J.R. Shepard, 4 wide for a moment. He has to bounce through the grass a little bit. Maybe it wasn't a great break. Max Costa trying to get both of them. That was a late move to go through right to the bottom, but he couldn't quite make it work.
Costa running in the 15th position right now. Almost got 2 for 1. Just dial it back a little bit, Max. I think the opportunity is going to present itself again. These guys racing really hard up here.
Well, Josh Adams in second just had a wiggle as well. I think those tires are starting to wear worse than the 24s are. I think eventually Adam Cabot's got to start going and trying to pass the 6 so he has an opportunity at the 24.
Yeah, he's running out of laps. 15 to go when they cross the stripe the next time by. This is make or break for Adam Cabot. Does Bailey Turner add his 5th win of the season? It's been a bit of a dry spell here in the past 4 or 5 weeks.
Oh, Josh Adams, he saved
really loose.
Time. Sturgill got sideways too. He saved it. He's going to lose track position. I think he might have gotten contact from Chad Klinger actually for the 3, but that's going to give Adam Cabot a pretty good break. He doesn't even need to fight the 6 of Josh Adams to get the 2nd. But this is a contact. Yep. Just booted him.
A little bit.
Add another one to the list.
Well, that's a teammate, I believe.
Not today, apparently.
Not today.
But that is exactly what Cabot needed. He needed something to go wrong with the 6 so he didn't have to spend laps fighting him. Now it's Turner and Cabot, just like we started this race with them battling. He was a 10th faster last time by.
And a 10th faster every lap will eventually put him at the back bumper with about 10 to go.
You know, we saw him running the middle of 3 and 4 as their tires wore out late in the runs earlier in this race, but we're not seeing that right now. They're planted to the bottom of the racetrack. He took another 10th out of that lead right there as Josh Adams starting to fade.
Back and forth here. I think through 1 and 2, Turner a little bit faster. He's going to use the draft here from Belke. That might help him. Chad Klinger able to get around for the 3rd position, and Elliott Butler.
This is going to hurt Turner on exit, I think. He's going to have to slow up a little bit for Belke. That's what Cabot wants to see. And that time
by 3/10.
Took about another 10th out of a lead. Turner slipped off the bottom there. Cabot's got a big run down to turn number 2.
I think he's all but there. We're going to take 11 laps left.
He's got to get close enough to get to the rear bumper of Turner just to get him loosened up out of the corner, but it's still going to be a struggle because he knows Bailey Turner's going to force him low. He will not let Cabot make that pass on the high side.
He has to defend, but these are 2 tires versus 4, and I've been mighty impressed here. Bailey Turner, no stranger to taking 2 tires and working these strategies. The luck's been on his side for the beginning half of this season, but now we're approaching postseason. The 24 on a dry spell. Can he get the 5th win? I think a podium would be good enough.
You can see last time by, he moved up the track in 1 and 2, took that middle line away from Adam Cabot, but even then, Cabot's still a touch faster. Maybe not as much, but still faster. That time, Cabot's just going to follow him, and then Turner's going to kind of cut down his air to the bottom of middle of 1 and 2, but that 17 still looking a lot better. 4.5 laps to go. He's there. If he could just loosen him up this time. Not quite close enough.
10 to go right now, 9 to go as they come out of turn 4. Turner doing everything he can, getting a little bit loose there out of the exit. Cabot's right there.
It's even more time. I forgot 140, not 135. I was looking at the wrong sheet clearly, but he's there now. Turner just got to hold a pretty wheel, be very patient on the throttles. They're 3 wide in the background for about the 6th position as Cabot almost got to the inside there, just not quite close enough. And don't look now, if these 2 race each other hard, Chad Klinger's also clear and might be able to chase these 2 down if they come together. Here we go.
Depending on how much the 24 wants to defend, here comes Cabot to the inside again across the tri-oval. I think this time he's going to have the advantage into turn 1.
I'm surprised Turner didn't go down the side draft him. We'll see if the 17 can drive it in hard enough to clear Bailey Turner. Maybe make the slide job. He won't even need it. Just has fresher tires, but he did wiggle off of 2. And then Turner has a little bit of a run left if he wants to take it.
He will.
Got no choice.
Yep, this is for the win right here. And how much do these guys want to battle? Do they want to allow Chad Klinger to work his way back into the picture?
I just don't think Turner can really fight it unless Cabot makes another mistake in clean air.
He said clean air has not been healthy for this car, and it's that front downforce. You see even right here for Cabot, he's getting a little bit loose. It's still enough of a drive off, though. Klinger might still catch up to the 24. We'll have to wait and see. It's about 9/8 of a second.
Yeah, not much Turner could do. You know, clean air hasn't been great for the leader as they get both so close to the wall, but you got to remember 2 tires versus 4 is going to make a difference. And that 17 would like to see this go green and not have to deal with any other strategy because I don't think Turner can do anything now. He's actually going to go to the bottom, give the 24 clean air to the middle, which is kind of surprising, but Turner didn't gain too much there.
Inside and Nick Hapiak in the 06. Michael Sturgill for the top 5. Just beside Elliott Butler. 5 laps to go here from Las Vegas. If you're just tuning in, it's been an eventful one. 20 lead changes, 3 cautions. Back and forth a lot here for the top spot today. We've had a multitude of leaders between Adam Cabot, Bailey Turner, AJ Stravado. And I think even Josh Adams had a lap led. Yeah, a couple laps led there for the 6 car. James Lehman, who started up front, I think he got a lap led. No, he did not. He was up in the top row. He's definitely been fast, but burning the tires off. It's changed hands quite a few times, and unfortunately with the strategy here, Connor, we alluded to it, the way that caution fell, the top 3 staying out, it just kind of, it definitely messed up the race.
Yeah, definitely didn't work for Stravado. Even if there's a yellow now, there's not much he's going to be able to do with that set, and he'll probably restart outside the top 20 as Lehman just had a big wiggle through 3 and 4 as we get the 3 laps to go. Lehman's under the grass a little bit off of 4. Looks like he keeps it straight, but once again, struggling with the rear grip on a long run. But Cabot wants to see this get to the white because you can see Turner just doesn't have the tire to challenge, and Chad Klinger's kind of leveled off as well. Ace Lakatos just got by, I believe, he got by Jeff Wright for the 13th position. Those 2 are battling for that spot. Stravado slides off of 4 a little bit. They're all trying to lap Austin Belke at the same time. That battle for 5th is still pretty hot. Elliott Butler also starting to fade here. Nick Hapiak looking for a top 5.
Josh Adams falls back here. He was competing for the lead at one point.
Wow.
Chad Klinger works a couple tenths closer. The white flag is in the air for Adam Cabot in the number 17 car. One more time around from Las Vegas in week number 10. For Adam Cabot, for every race he's participated in, it's been relatively successful. This is going to be another one as we go one more time around Las Vegas. Bailey Turner, we have a change for position. 3 wide back here for 6th.
Oh, it's almost not going to work. Sturgill sideways. How did he save that? Hapiak might get them all, but Cabot doesn't care now because he's coming to the checker.
And off of turn 4 for the final time, Adam Cabot is going to be victorious at Las Vegas.
Oh, Sturgill wrecked out of 4. Hapiak's wrecked. Villalobos is wrecked on his side. Ooh. Kenny Kibbe slides in. Dakota Floyd's in the wall. He got to the line. He wanted a top 5. He ends up 20th. I kind of laughing at the disappointment. Almost like he just tried to get I didn't see contact this time with Shepard. I don't think. Trying to drive hard off the corner. Yeah, just lost it. Nothing Hapiak could do. Catches a 45. He takes a huge hit. They'll eventually get across the line.
Lava's finished 11th. Hapiak into the wall, gets 10th. And I think it was, who was that hit, I think it was the 14 of Kibbe.
It's Kenny Kibbe, yeah. Came in late. Seemed like some people tried going through the grass to get to the line. He was already wrecking.
Wow.
Ooh. Rona slid in. All that happens behind Adam Cabot. He gets his first win of the season.
Post-race interviews with your top 3. Adam Cabot burning it down here on the front straightaway in the number 17. Post-race interviews coming up. Final race results here on VSPEED. You're watching the Saturday Night Racing League from Las Vegas. More coverage right after this.
Start your printers.
To keep pace with the ever-changing landscape of marketing and advertising, let Clark Print Shop help you spot the trends and keep you in front of the pack with all your color printing needs.
From business cards to invitations, menus to mugs, we can print anything you need on paper or your choice of over 3,000 promotional items.
Visit www.clarkprintshop.com to browse our online catalog and place your order today, or call us at 276-889-3426. For a limited time, use the code iRacing for 23% off your first purchase. The staff at Clark Print Shop looks forward to handling all your color printing needs.
In the heartland of our country, something magical is happening. At Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes, we know the power of community, of hands coming together to create wonders. These costumes are symbols of love, compassion, and inclusion. Your hands can craft dreams. Join us at Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes build events and be a part of something extraordinary.
Welcome back live here from Las Vegas in the Saturday Night Racing League. Cup Series has concluded 140 laps. It was eventful here tonight. Fun to watch? Yes, indeed, Reggie Ortega. It was a good time here tonight. 3 cautions, 20 lead changes. Fantastic show put on here by Adam Cabot, Jack Klinger, Bailey Turner, the top 3 here. Actually, Bailey Turner getting a second. We'll have a word with them drivers in just a moment. But how about that? Just a fantastic race overall. Josh Adams got a glimpse, got a taste of the lead here tonight. Really, really close. Elliott Butler gonna round out your top 5 here tonight. J.R. Shepard in 6th position. Donnie Kite in 7th. A.J. Stravato in 8th. Gonna say, good job there for Stravato, especially on those older tires, to salvage the day in the top 10. James Lehman, who started in the front row, will finish 9th. And then it's Nick Hapiak in the 06, and a lot of carnage there across the start-finish line with the 3-car of Sturgill getting loose and in 3 wide. Took a couple cars with him there.
Nothing Hapiak could do about it, but still got to the line 10th. Julio Villalobos was pretty much on his side, crossing the line on 11th. Jeff Wright got through to get 12th. Aston Case Licata's 13th. Max Cost, decent top 15 day for him. Dakota Floyd gets the 15th position. And then Kenny Kibbe, 16th. Chambliss, 17th. Ben Laughter, solid run for him in 18th. Angel Horonis, he ran top 10 a lot of the day, but kind of got called out, put into the grass on that final run. He didn't get the yellow to help him recover in 19th. And Michael Sturgill, he was in a fight for the top 5, got loose out of 4, relegates him to 20th, and loses some crucial points to Bailey Turner in the race for the lead in the points.
Yeah, I think those guys came out of turn 4 with 6th, 7th, 8th position, and it all went wrong. 21st spot going to Brandon Wallace. Nick Wood will finish 22nd. Christopher Hodges 23rd here tonight. Keith Shoemaker 24th. Rob Denton 25th. Mike Sturgill. I don't know why I keep mixing those two up. 26th spot for him. And Matt Shinosky 27th. Eddie Trejo, Austin Belke, Stefan Davis, who started in the top half of this field, falls back to 30th.
Tough for Trejo, Belke. They had some decent runs going. Caleb Weekly as well. Don't know what happened, but left the race. 31st position for him. Ray Massey caught up in the final caution, 32nd. Joseph McWhorter had a few bouts with the turn 4 in the front stretch grass. Ended his day in 33rd. Rob Hamp involved in the first caution of the day, 34th. Logan Threlkeld, PC or internet issues plagued his race. He ended up 35th. Philip Brewer, 36th, and Benjamin Richards, 37th. Brewer, another driver involved in that first lap crash. Richards just kind of left the race early, but there's 37 drivers who finished this race.
Well, I can tell you, I'm hoping, I'm praying for Logan Threlkeld and the frustration will be alleviated. Built him a new PC there, Connor, so I'm hoping that whatever issues he's having, maybe they're computer related at this point, because he's been having internet control issues, just a number of things, and I know it's discouraging, so keep your head in it there, Logan. And that's my VSPEED bias for the night. Got a shout out there for the 12 car. He just keeps trying. Keep on keeping on, buddy. We'll see you next week. With that, it's time to catch up with our top 3. And the first driver that we're going to pull into the broadcast booth, it's your third place finisher, Chad Klinger, in the number 09. Boy, I tell you what, Chad, you looked really fast tonight. You were one of the drivers that saved your tires the best. You definitely had a long run pace. And I think if that caution doesn't fall, you might end up 1 or 2 better here tonight.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's how it played out. Yes, myself and Adam Cabot were the best on long runs. Just we saved our tire the best. I didn't enjoy falling back trying to save tire, but it's always fun to go back through the field after reaping your rewards by saving your tire. So it was a great race overall, but I just needed that little extra at the end.
Well, Chad, I hate to do this to you, but it was a rivalry between you and the 33. Then it was the 24 there, I believe, at Canadian Tire. Tonight, you get into the back of the 3 car. I know that you're aggressive. No, he got loose. I know it wasn't intentional, but just amazing drive here tonight. But I did have to just kind of give a little jab there to you.
No, I know. I was planning on bump drafting him, so I got as close to him on the exit as possible. Then coming out of the corner, I saw someone ahead get loose, so I diverted my eyes to them, and I didn't back up or let off the throttle, so I kind of hit Sturgill at the wrong time, and it got him loose, which inevitably he wrecked on the last lap because of that. So yeah, it's not great on my end, but mistakes happen, but it's just too many for me.
Well, Chad, I do appreciate the fact that you admin over in the Challenger Series. You stare at us doing crazy things every single week and all the things that you have to put up with post-race. And then you come out here and put all that out of your mind to finish in third. Congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
Well, Chad, anybody that put this Sherwin-Williams number 09 on the racetrack in the podium here tonight, shout them out.
Well, thank all the admins, Jeff, Brian, and Reggie, myself. We've done a great job with this league, getting it where it's at. All the drivers that show up every week, it's great to have them. It's great competition, especially with the next gen car. Seems like the playing field's a little even for everybody. So a lot more players are at hand each week. So it's fun to see all these drivers do well. You guys in the booth, you guys do a great job broadcasting each week. Probably one of the best or the best that I've seen in a long time. So just wanted to shout out to you guys as well. And shout out to all the viewers watching. Can't make it happen without you as well.
Reggie Ortega, Bryce Shoemaker, quite a few others. Santa also in the chat. Congratulations, Chad, and I hope to see you next week when we dial it back a little bit, a little more short track hybrid racing for next week.
Yes, thank you. I'll see you next week, and hopefully I will dial back my racing a bit and won't get into somebody next week.
I think you'll be okay.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Chad Klinger, third place, led 2 laps, started third, finishes third here tonight at Las Vegas. All right, so now we got to move on, and I know this is something you look forward to, Connor. Bailey Turner having another successful day. We'll pull him up in the booth. Connor Horn is caught up with your second place finisher.
I got Bailey Turner. Thought it was going to be race winner Bailey Turner for the 5th time of this season, but just wasn't meant to be. Bailey, you led some laps. Maybe 17 had you before the yellow. You took 2 tires to kind of get in front of the field on the final yellow, but obviously didn't have the grip at the end. Do you regret the decision to take 2 tires at all?
It's one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't situations. I thought, it was such a short run there that taking 2 wasn't going to be that detrimental. And I definitely had the fire off speed better than those other guys around me from, the left sides at least being warmed up. So that, we got through the pack a bit faster than those guys. And I think you saw throughout the race, I had pretty good fire off speed. Those first 10 to 20 laps of the run, I really had a lot of pace, but really struggled to manage the right front. The car's balance would change so much throughout the run. We'd start tight, build super loose, and then for me, I'd build super tight again. So that's probably driving style a little bit, and once you got to the lead and you got clean air, all of a sudden I went from plowing tight behind a guy and had a lot of front grip to all of a sudden wrecking loose. So, I think obviously the right guy won the race. Adam, he had the pace from the beginning of the race to the end, and just wish I could talk to you in a P1 instead of a P2.
Yeah, and that's one other thing I was gonna kind of mention. It just seemed like whenever someone got the lead, they couldn't drive the car. How frustrating was it when trying to make a pass and having the car go one way to being the complete opposite when getting into clean air? Because not only did you have to deal with that, definitely seemed like the 33-17, anyone else was kind of struggling and just lost the car once they got the clean air.
Yeah, it was definitely it was crazy. I mean, I short pitted those guys, and that at the beginning of that run, I was like, all right, cool, I got past AJ, and I'm just gonna manage my stuff here, and just started building wrecking loose. And then as soon as he got by me, he had the same exact situation, and then Adam just made easy work of us on fresher tires. So definitely frustrating, but it was nice at least to be the second place car and have a little bit of an advantage on the guy in front. Kind of how you'd see somebody loosen somebody up in the Gen 6 era and that kind of stuff. So, just this isn't even my best track, I wouldn't say. Adam, Jeff, all those guys are just so good here. So I'm happy to come home with a P2, and everything seems to be, other than a couple weeks of getting wrecked at the end of races, we've been up here in contention and P2, P3, P1 every single week, and at this point, my whole focus is just, obviously building a points gap over the guys behind me and really just trying to get another win to get those extra bonus points going into the playoffs.
We definitely did a good job of that. The point lead extends from 18 to 37 after tonight, so congrats on that. Another top 3 finish for you. Anyone else you want to thank or shout out?
Yeah, shout out to Adam. I think he thinks he has COVID, so this was his COVID race, so congrats to him. Teammates, obviously, I feel bad for Angelo there. He was really mounting a good charge there at the end of the race and was going to probably be there in the top 5 with all of us, so frustrating for him, and obviously good to have AJ and everybody over there as Sad Boys, and obviously thanks to you guys in the broadcast. I go back and watch this throughout the week and kick myself about 10 times for different decisions I make. So it's always fun to watch that back, and you guys are always entertaining, and also obviously the admins and all the sponsors for the league. We appreciate the support, and it's fun to come out here every Saturday night.
He's been the point leader since Daytona. He extends that points gap with 36 laps led in the P2. Congrats for that, Bailey. Thanks for talking to us. See you next week.
Appreciate it.
Looking like he's in true championship form. We might be naming our 4th champion based off of how he's had success thus far in the regular season. So there's no doubt that he'll be a contender for that final race.
I would think so.
Adam Cabot going to come up here in victory lane, though. And I was informed that you're a little bit under the weather, so you take this as far as you want to, Adam. I know not feeling the best here tonight, but you still get the win. That's got to make you feel a little bit better.
It does. I guess you could call it my flu game. I don't know what's wrong with me. I think I might have COVID because it's kind of similar to the last time I had it. Not feeling like super sick, but a lot of like pressure in my head and strain in my eyes. But it seems like sometimes the less brain cells I go into a race with, the better, as counterintuitive as that might be. So all I know is, tonight was a lot of fun. I wish this car always drove like that at 1.5 miles. It was pretty out of control to start, and then the track cooled down and gained a lot more grip. But yeah, we had a great battle with Bailey at the beginning. We're battling super hard. Probably almost wrecked each other a few times, but we have plenty of practice wrecking each other in practice. So luckily we get it out of our system there. But it was just a lot of fun, and of course I was hoping it would go green, and me being a big dummy, I had a huge lead entering the pits under caution because of lap cars, and somehow me trying to really take it easy going to my pit stall led to me just completely missing it and reversing and putting me back in traffic. So I thought that was really dumb and probably cost me the race. But then luckily AJ made the mistake of staying out on tires. Bailey took 2, which definitely could have worked, I think, if more people did it. But I had just enough laps at the end there to work my way up through the pack. That was pretty sketchy to say the least. And then had enough time to get by Bailey at the end. So really cool to, I think that's the first win I have with this beautiful new Matt Livery's paint scheme. So shout out to him for painting one heck of a car. It was just a lot of fun tonight.
Sticking with the theme of red and black, and I know you were talking about that caution where you slid through the box, and I know with the strategy overall, some of these guys kind of on the back foot at the tail end of this race. You battled with several different drivers for this lead tonight with Klinger and Stravato, Turner. I mean, we had 20 lead changes. So you guys went back and forth a lot tonight.
Yeah, a lot of it almost. I mean, I wouldn't say for me it handled better in dirty air, but like the balance of the car, especially when the track was hot, was very loose. So as the leader, it was very easy to burn off your right rear, and when you had someone right up your ass too, like that also just loosens you up. So especially between like Bailey and AJ, you'd see one of them either take the lead or take position for second or third, and maybe lead the other for 5-10 laps, and then the balance would shift too loose, and then they would kind of swap positions. But I felt like I was able to. I mean, I did lose the lead a few times in the first run, especially when we were going all out. But I felt like I was pretty good at being able to hold the lead and kind of manipulate the lines. But yeah, it was definitely. It definitely makes for a good race when clean air isn't as clear cut of an advantage as it is for most tracks here with this car.
Well, look pretty clear cut for you once that strategy came to fruition. You took 4 tires, worked your way through the traffic, and you become victorious with 83 laps led. Adam Cabot, first win of this season. Anybody you got to shout out for putting this car on the racetrack?
Well, I already gave the shout out to Matt Liveries there, so but give a shout out to Bailey for racing me hard but clean as he always does. And just shout out to everyone who makes this league happen, because it's fun to show up here on Saturday nights and brawl it out.
Adam Cabot victorious here in week number 10. We'll move on to next week at Iowa Speedway. Look forward to possibly seeing you there.
All right, sounds good. Thanks.
So there you have it. Adam Cabot victorious. We still got a lot of regular season racing left to be done, though, here. It's one of those racetracks that you want to drive it like a mile and a half, but you need to drive it more like a short track. It's going to take the technicality of driving it like Richmond, like Martinsville, and so on. But the passing, it's near impossible, and this next-gen card not going to make it any easier, Connor.
No, definitely not. I think next week, not only for the Challenger Series, which goes to Iowa next week, but for the main series going over, I believe, to New Hampshire. It's going to be really, really tough for all those drivers, especially. You got 2 different tracks completely, but they're both going to be pretty tough to pass at. You got a lot more banking at Iowa, but New Hampshire very flat. From my experience of a league race there a few weeks ago, it can be it's kind of tough to get around there, green flag running. We'll see what these Saturday Night Racing League drivers can do, but it's going to be a tough track to pass. You might see some shifting. We might see the apron line come into play. Drivers running below that blue line, so it should be pretty darn interesting. Like you said, a long ways to go before we get to the chase at Michigan in the middle of May. We got 4 races to go: New Hampshire, Kansas, Charlotte, and then the regular season finale at Bristol for 200 laps. So plenty of time to go, but Bailey Turner got 1 step closer towards clinching that regular season title, opened up 19 extra points over Sturgill, and part of that is because of Sturgill's slip up out of turn 4, so that could be costly once we get to Bristol and they're a little bit closer to each other. But there's your schedule. You see your 4 races before the chase: then Michigan, Iowa, Chicagoland, Dover, and we end it all at Homestead, Miami. Should be fun.
I confused everybody here tonight. I totally drew a blank. I thought we were going to Iowa in both series, so I apologize for that. Shows how much due diligence I did to look at this thing. Yeah, like you said, just a different racetrack altogether, but it is, another hybrid racetrack, a unique setup. It's kind of a bigger Martinsville, very flat corners, difficult to pass. Bailey Turner, I can tell you what, he's definitely circled this one on his calendar. If he doesn't get the win, it slipped away from him. We'll see you in 1 week's time for that. Saturday night at Iowa for the Challenger Series, and then 10 p.m. at New Hampshire. Until then, everybody, Adam Baker, Connor Horn joining me up in the booth. This is Bradley Cooper saying so long from Las Vegas. Stay tracking, everybody.